What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're gonna be doing something pretty fun for you. I was actually going through a list of some things that you guys really wanted to see, and up at the top of the list for indoor gardening was to try to use a green stalk garden planter indoors. And so we're gonna be planting this out with some herbs. You guys know me, I love herbs. I'm an herby guy, and so we came into the greenhouse, we could fill this up with some soil. How this works is essentially, these are all levels, and when they're stacked on top of each other, they are slightly offset so that it allows them to have basically this little kind of this little half circle here for them to grow in, and that is a pocket that then can host a plant. And then there's gonna be another level on top of that. So it allows you to grow vertically, which is great, saves a ton of space, and they're all self-watering, which is really cool. They all have holes, and those holes basically drip water down through each layer. Kind of, you water the top, and they all water each other, which is really cool too. So they sent this to me to give it a shot, and I said I'm gonna give it the best shot I can give, and no promises, but we'll see what happens. So let's start this experiment of what happens when you plant out a green stalk garden planter indoors. All right, now that we've got the soil pre-moistened, it's gonna be way less dusty, and that is great. Now, ideally, you wanna pre-moisten your soil so that it not only lowers the dust up in the air, but it also really helps with water absorption. Dry soil does not really love to absorb water very well, so if you were to put water on that, it really float around and mess things up. So I always recommend pre-moistening your soil, not only for your lungs, which is important, but also for your plants. So I'm gonna fill up these, and we're using Pro Mix. That's our soil choice. It's just a really great mix. It's got a lot of perlite, as you can see, a lot of vermiculite. It's got a sphagnum peat moss that's been amended with some dolomitic lime, so it's pH balanced. It is really, really awesome stuff. Now it is sterile as well, so it's a soilless potting mix, and that means we're gonna have to add some fertilizer. And that leads me to my next thing, which is the fertilizer we're using. All right, so we're gonna be using Trifecta. That's our fertilizer of choice. It's an all-purpose granular fertilizer, and to each layer here, I'm gonna be mixing in, I don't know, about a cup and a half or so, and that's gonna get mixed into all of these pockets individually. Also from MIgardener.com, we're gonna be adding some locally produced organic worm castings. Now, these worm castings are produced quite literally about 3 miles away from us by a small farm, and they are some of the highest quality worm castings you're gonna find. Check this out, look at this. Absolutely incredible. High chitin content worm castings. We're gonna add some of those as well to add the beneficial bacteria and fungi that would be present outside into our system. We're gonna be adding, I don't know, about half cup or so, working that into the top where the plants are gonna be, and then they're gonna be ready to move and groove. All right, so we're gonna start with some basil. Now, one thing to note when you're planting out the green stalk, any vertical planter, a big mistake is planting out big plants on top and small plants on the bottom. You actually want the bigger plants down at the bottom because as you go up, it's going to increase shadow. If you had a big plant up here, it's gonna create a shadow down here. So I'm gonna put my basils and things that get tall at the bottom. And that way, once they grow and reach for the sky, they're not going to be blocking the other plants. Oh, and also, forgot about this. I'm actually gonna be ripping these apart because I don't need 4 plants in one. So I'm gonna rip these apart. All right, same thing, open it up. We're gonna rip it. We're gonna damage some roots, but again, we don't need 8 basil plants, plus these ones look really nice. We don't need 8 basil plants in a little 4-inch pot. Another quick tip for you guys is if you're just throwing together a quick little herb planter and you don't wanna spend a bunch of time getting it together, sometimes going out to your local grocery store can actually give you some really amazing plants, even in the middle of winter. Our local grocery store had these beautiful plants for literally $3. A little bit more expensive than normally I would spend, but because I don't need that many plants and because I want it done quickly, it's far easier just to go spend a little bit of money, and we're gonna have these for a long time. All right, now what's cool about the mint is normally I would not grow mint in a garden because they can really take over. But what's awesome is that I can actually divide these out and get a lot of free plants. So this is actually one plant, but if you come in close, mint is a vine. It will actually set down roots all along the stem. See those little roots right there? Those roots can actually allow me to divide these up in half, break this just like that. And now I got 2 plants where it was 1 because that stem was touching the soil and was sending down roots. It's also why you don't want to plant mint in your garden. Don't plant mint in your garden unless you want to have an absolute takeover of mint. The mint is strong with this one. Now we got the thyme. Same thing here. I've got a bunch of thyme plants, so I'm going to just basically take these, split them off. Now we've got 2 plants. You could even divide this up 3 or 4 plants if you really wanted to. But we're going to get those thyme plants planted up there too. And oh man, this room, you guys, smells like heaven. It smells so incredible. I can't wait to have these growing and harvesting from them all winter long. Ooh, I just love, oh gosh, I love the smell of fresh herbs. All right, next, chives. This one is going to make up a lot. Now, chives are one you can divide to your heart's content. They're part of the allium family. And if you know alliums, you know they have very wiry roots. Check this out. Coming close, I can take these chives and I can actually divide them right out. I'm not even ripping them. They will just naturally, look at this, look at them just pull apart. Check this out, look at this. It's like magic. Look at this, no root damage at all. You can do this with your onions, you can do this with shallots, you can do this with chives, you can do this with leeks, any type of allium. You can literally take them, look at this. This is how you can take one little 4-inch pot of chives from a grocery store. Now, obviously, I want you guys to go to MIgardener.com and get yourself some chive seed and plant your own. But if you're on a time crunch and you want some instant plants, you can go get yourself a little 3-inch pot, and there's probably 50, 60 chive plants in this single container here that I'm going to divide out. I can plant to my heart's content, and they will divide just like mint. Do not put chives in a spot of your garden that you don't want it to take over. It will go crazy, but in this little container here, it's going to do great. All right, and final plant that we're going to plant in the top here is the parsley. Now, the reason why I'm putting the parsley at the top is because the parsley does not get very tall. It is very contained, and also the parsley needs probably the most sunlight of all these herbs. The basil needs a lot of sunlight, but it gets pretty tall, and because we're growing in grow lights, again, this is an experiment. We'll see how this goes. Because it doesn't get that bushy and that tall, it won't block a lot of light, and because it stays pretty contained, I thought this was kind of an ideal one for the top. Another good one for the top would maybe be the chives, but because I picked chives first, that's why they went down. Really, I guess that's the only way to put it. But I'm gonna divide these out same way. I'm just gonna break them apart. You can also take scissors and cut them as well. So there we go, you guys. Super, super simple. And now all we're gonna do is we're gonna water in. We're gonna water in the top layer really well, and then naturally that will trickle down into the other pockets, and we're just gonna make sure that everything gets good, equal watering. And we'll keep you guys posted on how this goes. I mean, basically you'll see it throughout these coming weeks and months because this is gonna stay here. Again, we're gonna rotate it. We're gonna try to get the best bang for our buck here, indoors, underneath grow lights, and I'm really excited about it because if we can get good luck with this, if this can actually grow plants, imagine the possibilities. I mean, I know you guys are probably already getting your gears spinning, but I'm thinking about like lettuce. Heads of lettuce here, and then just growing. I mean, I could grow 36 heads of lettuce indoors in basically 2 square feet. That's amazing. Or, you know, herbs, or I could even grow herbs and lettuce. I could grow spinach. I could grow so much cool stuff in this small space here. And I just think that this is a pretty cool system. So we're gonna see how it does. Follow along for more. Make sure you subscribe so when I do updates and other cool stuff in the grow room and out in the greenhouse and out in the garden, you're gonna be notified of that. Make sure you hit the bell so you are actually notified. And we'll catch you all on the next episode. As always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Oh, and really quick, if you want to grow all these herbs from seed and save even more money, go check out MIgardener.com. We literally have every single one of these herbs that we planted out today in seed form for only $2 a pack and free shipping on seed orders of $20 or more. So make sure you go check it out. You'll definitely thank me later. All right, take care, guys.